matchup to see between Rusilo and O'Donnell who's going to get more time in pipes, because Rusilo, in his absence, has been very good as well. All right, so we have our center face-off. We're off. And, of course, the Utes will be defending the goal to your left and moving from left to right, and the Cougs will be guarding the goal on your right. So we have our center face-off. We had to redo the center face-off. It was Trediak versus Baker. And the Cougs control in their zone. Oh, and he coughs it up. Sam Mudd managed to poke it loose. Nice shot by Sheridan from the high slot. And he wings another one that goes wide. Ben Smith gloves it and drops it to his defender. And here comes BYU. Looks like Eamon Anderson is carried across the blue line, and then they lose the puck.
Something to pay attention tonight from BYU. I was watching closely in warm-ups. They can pass the puck accurately, but what I noticed was a little bit off was the reception of those passes. The players would receive these crisp passes in warm-ups that they couldn't handle. It was almost like the passes were off to their stick. So that's
kind of bobble the pass a little bit.
That's something you guys got to keep your eyes on. That's an opportunity to, maybe pick off that puck and get some chances in transition tonight. Just kind of try and see if they can take that puck away from the Cougars.
That would be a good thing to look out for. Also, another thing to look out for this afternoon is Zeke Indy is wearing number 24, his jersey. He's not on the ice now, but when he does show up, he'll be wearing 24, and it'll say Mazzoni on the back, but it is indeed Zeke Indy. So Zeke dons yet another number just to keep me on my toes.
Yeah, and also worth noting as well, the jersey he was wearing yesterday, it said Madej. Madej actually is back from suspension, so he's also playing tonight. So Madej is Madej in his jersey.
Exactly. It's kind of like I said before the game, it's kind of like, where's Waldo? It's like, where's Zeke? And the Indy family was in town this weekend, so I hope you're getting a little chuckle out of that. Oh, and centering pass there just gets knocked loose by the Utah defense. Puck ends up getting wrapped around the boards. BYU keeps it in. Sheridan tries to send it back along behind the boards, and Trediak scoops it up. And then he loses it to a BYU player. Nielsen back there. Holmes tried to knock it back in, but it gets poked loose. A little bit of extracurricular there between Carpenter and Holmes. Oh, and then, oh my goodness! That's Chris Hack loses the edge and then takes out his own player, and he loses his stick. Kurt has a chance shooting on goal. One-timer from the point by Yumina. Puck gets trapped in the corner, fighting for it. And he comes up with it, he sends it to the center. Yumina wrists it in, it hits a bunch of bodies, bounces off into the corner. Nice little skate through by, looks like Kurt, and that's saved by the goalie Smith. Holmes finally picks it up, tries to send it out. Yumina keeps it in, and then BYU picks it up. They're trying to start a little something, but then, oh my gosh, he misplaced the puck. And Andy just right there, exactly as number 17 has come around and had trouble handling the pass. Andy was right there, he passed on screwed up, and top shelf, there you go. Utah comes in 17-26 in the first period.
And here come the Teddy Bears.
And here come the Teddy Bears. It's a Teddy Bear toss tonight, I forgot to mention that. So here they come.
Teddy Bears coming out onto the ice, which is fantastic to see. But first shot, I thought went in, and that the referee said no goal. The referee had obviously a much better vantage point. Not even he had his position right on the goal line. It looked like to me that first one got in that right portion of the goal from up here, our vision, but apparently it was that rebound that went in, and so. BYU there, very costly turnover as you see. I mean, really bad, top of the slot area. And I mean, that just gives the Utah a 2-on-0. They clean up the rebound nice and easy. They take a 1-0 lead. That's a big lead for the Utes considering, last night's game against Utah State. They got the first goal there as well, but tonight you can very much tell that they've come out with lots of fire, lots of power, lots of just adrenaline and momentum. They look a lot better than they did at all points yesterday. I mean, they just look very, very well
And
as well as
BYU has another strong program. They're not going to be a pushover.
No, they're not. They are. I mean, again, we were talking about it yesterday. BYU, Utah State, Weber State. Like these are some of the top ACHA programs in the West at Division II level. I'm not sure what's going on here.
The door, that visitor's door, they're playing with the visitor's door.
Connor Allen from BYU. I'm not sure if he's what he's doing late in the game.
Oh my goodness, you're right. I didn't. Oh, so he's the one who misplayed the pass and then he went down really hard. So maybe he's kind of holding his hand. So maybe I hope he's going to be all right. But he's the one who went down and gave up. He lost an edge. So he gave up the puck, mishandled the pass, and then he went down really hard when he lost an edge.
Obviously, BYU's our rival. We never win.
No, we want everyone to be healthy.
He's okay. We'll see him back in the game. He's a hockey player. He's a tough kid. He'll probably be back out here, hopefully.
All right, Porter Temple digging for along the boards, and he loses it to Christensen. And here comes BYU across the right blue line on the right wing. He's trying to get something going. He sends it all the way across. Nice wrist shot by number 10. That is Cody Barris, but beautiful glove save by Patrick O'Donnell. Welcome back, Patrick.
And that's just a really good sight to see from O'Donnell. Yeah, it's just a simple glove save, but you can tell he looks really comfortable out there. I mean, he's on his toes. You can see he's really pumped up and happy to be back out there for these. That's what you need out of a goaltender. A goaltender who wants to get back out in the ice, wants to get back between the pipes. He looks very comfortable, very calm, very composed. He's going to have a good night tonight. I really think he will.
Yeah, let's hope so. You can never have too many good, solid goalies. All right, so Utah controls. He's sitting in the neutral zone. Sola's racing for it. And then here comes BYU. They got a 3-on-1. This could be dangerous. Tomchik's back there. 37 as Ammon Addison has a shot, saved by O'Donnell.
BYU just missed getting a stick on that when it was underneath the crossbar. If he was able to bat it out of the air like some of our baseball players, he would have had himself a goal.
Fighting for the puck in the corner. And then he kind of trickles out. Morrow sends it centering. Oh! And boy, that was a good chance by Nielsen. He was almost able to skate it in, but O'Donnell covered up that near post, kept him out. And as a result, a bunch of people skated into the net.
Conti skated into the net there. He lost a little bit of an edge as he was going for the puck there. He looks like he's okay, which is good. But
I have players like losing edges early here in the game. I wonder if the ice is a little harder than usual.
You know, actually, I overheard some Utah. I was taping the gold cam on the visitor side. I overheard some of the Utah State players say they don't like playing because the ice is it's a warm building. They don't like the ice conditions here.
Oh, okay. So the opposite of too hard, maybe the ice is a little soft.
Maybe we'll have to go out and skate on there ourselves.
Oh, there you go.
Oh
gosh, I'll have to dig my skates out. You probably need sharpening. They probably got some rust.
Well, we got a sharpener. AJ will sharpen your skates for you.
Will? Oh, well, okay. I'll bring them in. All right, puck comes loose. It's going to be a race. Here comes Stevenson fighting hard for that puck, but BYU player ends up with it. He flips it high. Not Tomchik. Yumina sends it back in. Stevenson takes it down the right side. He tries to center it, but it bounced off the body, and then he does center it. Goes all the way through. Carpenter chasing after it, but he's unable to keep it in. And here comes BYU. He dumps it in on the right side, all the way back. Looks like that's 26. That's Shimbashi. And Utah managed to get out of zone. Carpenter pokes at it, but he loses it. Austin Sienkowski fighting for it along the boards. Squirts out. And it looks like Whittier sends it to Yumina. Yumina carries it himself across the blue line. Tries to center. Oh, he drops it off to Carpenter. Nice. All the way across. And a wrist shot by Whittier goes high. And BYU picks it up, and they start a breakout on their side. Here comes Baker down the left side. He sends it all the way across. Oh my goodness! So Sanders mishandled the puck, and then he ended up giving it back. Looks like to number 5, Eisenstadt, who was there, and just backhanded it in. O'Donnell had gotten pulled all the way to his left side. Oh, it was Baker, number 9. Baker.
Yeah, he cleans up that rebound. Actually, BYU makes me eat my words there, but that was actually a nice pass reception that ended up for a nice shot and rebound opportunity. They didn't clean up the other thing. There's nothing O'Donnell can do.
No, O'Donnell had to go and defend that far side, and that was it. He was committed. So we are tied up, 14-18 in the first period. Looks like maybe offside.
Not sure what.
Linesman's pointing at the line.
Yeah, no, I was definitely outside. Bortoluzzi pretty much just skated into the zone. You could see his own guys in the zone. I'm not sure what he was doing.
Oh.
But,
He had a little space out.
yeah.
All right. Andy versus Baker in the faceoff. Utah wins it. Sheridan trying to send it up, starts up, but just hits somebody. BYU hits Anderson. Anderson's the top scorer, so he's a dangerous player. He skates. Oh, his centering pass just misses the stick of Baker. Andy in the corner. A couple of people in the corner. Puck's still stuck in the corner. And Anderson comes up with it. He tries to skate it across, but a nice poke check by Andy and ends up trickling into the BYU zone. Madday's there to chase it down. He's fighting for it behind the net. Baker comes up with it. He sends it up. And then here comes 29 Christensen, carries it across. He dumps it to Eisenstadt. Back to Christensen. High slot. Slap shot from the high slot by number 10, Barris. Nice save. And Madej carries it across the blue line himself. He drops it to Andy. Andy trying to skate it in. It gets either knocks off a bunch of people or it was a save. I can't quite tell, but it trickles out.
Almost had a chance to put that puck in the open net.
In the open net because Smith went down. And Utah has a line change, so now we've got Conti and Templin along the boards. Puck ends up splitting back out of the neutral zone. Driscoll picks it up. And BYU's trying to start something, a breakout from their own zone. Here comes Driscoll. He sends it up to neutral zone to Thunhorst. Thunhorst skates across himself. He drops it back. Oh, big hit by Conti, and he coughs up the puck. He knocks it loose from Morrow. Oh, and then Osola goes down, but no whistle. Puck's still in the BYU zone, and Templin picks up the puck when it gets coughed loose. He goes for a shot. That's saved. He tried to center it just out of Osola's reach. The puck ends up in the corner. And Osborne scoops it up and starts something. Utah recovers. Brown in his own zone. Sends it across to Whittier. And then Sam Mudd comes along and helps him out. Nice pass up to Brown, except he loses the handle on it. And we have something. What's that?
I didn't quite see the referee's signal there.
I saw the linesman pointing, so I'm not sure why it ends up over there. We still have certificates of 2 line points.
Yeah.
Because if it was offside, it would be on the other side. I don't know. I'm confused. All right, Tretiak against Osborne for the faceoff. BYU comes up with it, throws it in deep, ends up behind the Utah net. And O'Donnell decides to cover it up because he had somebody bearing down on him with a black and blue jersey, blue and black jersey. That would have been Fetzer. So line change for everybody. And it looks like, including Utah, looks like Anderson for BYU is going to face off against Indy for Utah, just to the left of O'Donnell. BYU comes up with it. Eisenstadt tries a quick wrist shot from the blue line. Goes wide. Oh, and there it is, a scrapple in front, and Anderson just misses getting a chance to tip that in. Utah comes up with it, though. Here comes Whittier. Pass to Umina. Nice pass up to Indy, and Indy loses the handle on it, though. Kurt managed to send it in deep. He's back, he takes it into the corner. Anderson, Andy, Kurt. Finally, they send it around the boards. Here comes BYU through the neutral zone to Baker. Oh, nice little pick by Umina. He carries along the boards, across the blue line, then he goes to the center. Oh, and he goes for a pass to Kurt, just out of Kurt's reach. Whittier picks it up in his own zone, starts something again. Up to Umina. Umina carries it across the blue line. He's fighting for the puck there, along with Eisenstadt. Oh, puck goes all the way across and gets all the way through the other side. Whittier sends it to Kurt. Centering pass goes all the way through. BYU picks it up. And then Indy sends it back. 10:39 left in the first period. You're tied 1-1. shots are fairly even. Looks like BYU's got 3, Utah's got 5. Wrist shot by number 21, Morrow. Goes a little wide. Picked up by Thunhurst in the corner. Still fighting for it in the corner. Utah sends it around back. Still scrambling for it in the corner. Finally, BYU picks it up. Oh, and he tries to send it out to his man on the high point, but it gets all the way through to the other end. BYU managed to pick it up, so no icing. And BYU regroups and tries to break out again. Morrow gets a little bit hung up by the bench. He ends up sending it back into his own zone. And Cody Bears picks it up. He tries to, and Austin Siemkowski picks off that pass and goes for a wrist shot himself. Gets stick saved into the netting. 9:43 left in the first period. It's a pretty exciting match. So Austin is going to, Siemkowski is going to face off against Osborne to the left of Smith in the BYU zone. BYU controls. Holmes sends it up to his partner. And Osborne tries to clear across the zone, leaves the handle on. Oh, and then Sheridan tries to clear it. And fortunately bounces right back to him. So now he sends it up to Stevenson. Carries it across the neutral zone. Oh, and he tries to poke it in, but he loses the handle on it. Johnson's chasing after it into the corner, along with Holmes. They're fighting for it in the corner. Stevenson joins them. Puck ends up squirting around to the other side. Fetzer tries to clear it. Brown picks it up and passes it back to his defense. Johnson sends it up to Stevenson. And Siemkowski pokes it in there, and he's off. He's skating around. He's nice centering pass. Gets through, though. Brown picks it up. Sends it along the boards to Stevenson, who also tries to center. And then Mudd picks it up, goes for a shot. Gets sent deflected wide. Brown in the corner. Holmes picks it up for BYU. He sends it along. BYU's trying to start something, coming through the neutral zone. And they dump it in because they decide they want to have a change. Carpenter picks it up and sends it forward. Gets picked off by one of the BYU players. Looks like that's Anderson. He goes for a wrist shot. Nice stick save by O'Donnell. Puck ends up in the netting. We're going to have a face-off in the Utah zone. 8:24 left in the first period. Some really nice back-and-forth plays happening. A lot of good scoring chances. Some good defense. This is fun.
I agree. Utah coming out to play tonight. This is good showing for them so far compared to the last time they looked a little more tired. But they're out to play tonight like 7-4.
Oh my gosh! So Trediak versus Anderson on the face-off, and in the scuffle, one of the BYU players managed to snag the puck as it squirts out of the face-off circle, and into the net it goes. I don't know if O'Donnell even saw that one coming. He was downstate, down low on the ice, and it was a bullet. So it looks like that was Baker again. That would be his second goal in the first period, much less the game.
Fucking 5-1 O'Donnell there, and I mean, those shots come off the face-off like that. You can't see them. They're coming so fast.
And he was only 10 feet away.
Right.
He was practically on top of it.
Yeah, those are the shots that are almost the toughest to stop.
So BYU takes the lead at 8:24 in the first period. And another shot, this time by Thunhurst. This shot goes wide. Puck ends up in the corner. Whittier scoops it up, tries to send it ahead to Kurt. Gets a little bit ahead of him though. Barris picks it up. Oh, nice break up by Mate. He breaks up that pass, but then another BYU player picks it up. That would be Nielsen. Still in the Utah zone. Finally, Andy picks it up, skates it around. Driscoll, BYU, starting something. Pass it to Barris, back to Driscoll. He sends it up to neutral zone. Fetzer tips it into the deep into the Utah zone. O'Donnell decides to go and send it around the boards. Gets back to his net just in time because here comes BYU. Utah managed to clear it out of the zone. And BYU sends it in deep so they can have a line change. And Andy sends the puck in deep so they can do the same for Utah. Driscoll picks it up. Here comes BYU from their own zone. Through the neutral zone. And And that was Shimbashi was trying to carry it in, but it looks like somebody got in there ahead of him, so it's going to be offside. We'll have a face-off just outside the blue line. 7:04 left in the first period. BYU leading Utah 2-1. Utah wins the draw. Carries it down the left wing, across the blue line. Oh, he tries to skate it in, but then he loses the handle on the puck, so the puck squirts out. Sheridan picks it up, sends it back in deep behind the net. And BYU tries to clear it out. Oh! And Bordeluzzi, wow. Bordeluzzi got called for a hand pass. That didn't look like a hand pass to me.
Yeah, it didn't look like one either.
But anyway, so it's hand pass on Bordeluzzi. I mean, it was a really high puck. It looked like he just rubbed it and dropped it like you're supposed to, but they're going to call it a hand pass for forward motion. So we'll have a face-off just outside the blue line. Conti versus Baker. Utah wins the draw. Nice little move there by Osola, but then he loses the handle on the puck. Sheridan. And Bordeluzzi trying to start something. And they lose the puck in the neutral zone. BYU sends it in deep, ends up behind the boards. Bordeluzzi digs it out. Sheridan retrieves it on the other side. Sends it back to Bordeluzzi. And he sends it up to Stevenson, who then sends it up to Johnson. But then they run out of people to pass it to, so puck ends up getting picked up by BYU. Nielsen carries it across the blue line. Tries a centering pass beyond the reach of his teammate there, Morrow. So Utah picks it up. Utah trying to clear the zone. Oh, it stays in, number 18. BYU picks it up. He goes for a wrist shot. That was Thunhorst. It goes wide. Bunch of players whacking at it, and O'Donnell decides to cover it up. So we'll have a face-off to his right. So the shot count now with 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the first period. It looks like it's BYU 7 and Utah 9, but the point differential, BYU is still ahead by it. Whittier picks it up, sends it along to Umina. Kurt picks it up, tries to skate along and loses an edge, and then the puck ends up in front of the slot, and Morrow gets up, tries to backhand it in, but it gets deflected wide. Eisenstadt sends it in deep. Morrow picks it up, tries to skate it back. He drops it for number 18, Thunhorst. Eisenstadt in the corner, along with Made. Whittier in to help. Nielsen picks it up. He's stuck behind the net. And he's in there. Managed to poke it loose. Made's there. He's trying to send it along the boards. 18, Thunhorst again tries to send it in, but it gets hit a bunch of bodies. Eisenstadt looking for something. He goes for a wrist shot from near the goal line. It gets deflected. Nice save by O'Donnell. Puck ends up in the corner. And Eisenstadt again tries a wrist shot from the point, but this hits a body, bounces back out. Thunhorst takes a whack at it. He ends up next to the boards. And looks like we're going to have a penalty.
I believe it's the first penalty of the game. It'll be
first penalty of the game. And he's shaking his hands, goes to the box. So the penalty counts at 4:46 in the first period. It'll be holding on Andy. He's going to sit for 2 minutes. Odd, because I thought the play was over in the corner and his call came from closer to the center, so I'm not sure what was going on up there. All right, Tretiak facing off against Anderson. BYU wins the draw, and they're in a power play.
Utah penalty number 24.
Utah penalty killing unit. Looks like it's Tretiak, Mudd, Tomacek.
Utah penalty number 24.
Tomacek and Brown. It looks like they had a little scuffle after the whistle, and then net actually gets pushed out of the ring. Brown was in there trying to back up O'Donnell to make sure that puck didn't squirt its way or wiggle its way under his pads into the goal.
Looks like the net came loose as well.
Yep, net came loose. Do-over. Anderson versus Tretiak. BYU wins the draw. And they start there, as Patrick likes to say, the diamond formation. Eisenstadt with a wrist shot from a high slot. Nice save, O'Donnell. Anderson sends it back to him. Chase it over to the boards. Sam Mudd's there trying to clear it out, and he does. 4:18 left in period. 1:30 left in the penalty against Utah. BYU groups behind their own net, and they start their breakout through the neutral zone, across the blue line on the right side. Waiting for his teammates to show up. Sends it into the corner, looking for a centering pass. And wrist shot from the circle, hits the post, I think, and goes wide. Eisenstadt near the goal line. Anderson tries to go for it, gets tangled up with Conti and loses the puck, and Conti loses his stick. He's trying to cover, he actually gets a stick on it, he gets a skate on it. O'Donnell gets a stick on it, and gives Conti a chance to go over and pick up the stick. Or maybe it's broken, he's not even touching it.
So yeah,
It's broken a little bit. So of course, if your stick is broken, you cannot pick it up. That's going to be close. You just have to leave it on the ice. All right.
Go, Carter!
37 left in the period. 51 seconds left in the penalty kill for Utah. And it's Baker versus Sola in the face-off. BYU comes up with it. Cycling the puck around. Still cycling the puck around. Baker's getting a little bit hung up in the corner, but Morrow picks it up, skates it around. Behind the net. To Allen. Back to Morrow. Utah's doing a good job staying spaced out and not getting suckered in. Still looking for somebody. And then Morrow has a skate by. And it looks like that was saved by O'Donnell. They should, Utah needs to not let him skate through like that.
True, and also Utah looks like they're getting a little bit tired. This line has been out there for a little bit.
That's true, they have been out for a little bit. 5 seconds left in the period, and they do clear the puck out of the zone. So BYU is in the group, but they are now out of time. Here comes Andy, and we're back to full strength. 5 on 5, he's back in time just for a poke check there on 17. Allen, Baker picks it up though. He's got a centering pass, and Allen is right there for the rebound, but he doesn't get it in. Another shot from Holmes, and it looks like that reflected in. I'm not sure whether it was like higher.
Play in general. That's actually like the action.
And Baker again, then that is a hat trick for Baker in the first period. And there they go. Well, a headband. Somebody didn't want to give up their hats. Oh, there's a hat. So,
a couple of shots that bounced around, and O'Donnell and Utah defensive board could really find the pocket. Baker just tucked it in.
So Baker gets a hat trick in the first period. The Cougars lead Utah, and that clock is not running.
Clock is not running.
No, the clock's not running. The clock is stuck at 2:27, which is when Baker scored that goal. And now we have a penalty. It's going to be, looks like, on BYU, I think, tripping. And the clock is still stuck.
Clock's never won. I'll tell BYU, but I don't think that penalty should count.
Right, because the clock wasn't running, right?
They're not supposed to play, obviously.
All right, well, we have an odd situation here. Anyway, it'll be 2 minutes for tripping on Chris Heck. And Utah's going to have a power play now in BYU zone. Sam Mudd's taking the face-off against Anderson. Utah wins the draw. Nick Bade, smart thinking, as soon as he picks the puck up, goes for a wrist shot. Nice save by Smith. And the clock is running again. Somebody figure that out. We won't tell BYU if we don't. It's just you and me. Nobody else is listening, right? All right. Holmes sends it in deep. 2 minutes, 9 seconds left in the period. Andy picks it up. Sends it up to Mudd. Mudd carries it along the boards. Oh, he tries to carry it across, and him and Carpenter collide. Made picks it up in the neutral zone. Carries the puck across himself on the left side. Across the blue line. Drops a pass to Mudd, who goes for a wrist shot. And Mudd follows up his own rebound, but he's unable to get a hold to get a stick on it. 1 minute, 13 seconds left in the Utah power play. And he starts behind his own net. Starting something going. Whoa, and then Kurt actually loses the handle on it. He has to go back and retrieve the puck. And BYU, of course, just sends it in deep because they're just trying to kill time on that power play, on their penalty kill. And he picks it up again. Sends to Whittier. I'm sorry, Kurt picks it up again. And now Osola carries it across the blue line himself, drops to Whittier. Whittier back to Osola. Back to Whittier. Now to high slot. Oh, Umina loses the handle on it. The puck trickles out of the zone, so Utah has to start all over. 33 seconds left on the power play for Utah. Whittier carries across the blue line on the right side. He drops it for Osola. Osola sends it back to Whittier, who skates behind the net. 21 seconds left on the power play. Oh, and they try for a centering pass, but nobody gets a stick on it, so ends up bouncing off the backboard. And Umina again sends it off to Whittier. Whittier looking for someone to pass to. High wrist shot from the high slot by Umina. Templin picks it up. He sends it behind the net. They go for a quick try send for no centering pass. Oh, and then Whittier loses an edge, and so the puck again trickles out, and the penalties are over. Teams are back to full strength. Here comes Chris Eck to join his teammates. Osola tries for a skate by, whiffs on the shot. And Whittier picks it up in the neutral zone. Sends it up to Connie. Connie follows it in. 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left. Not really anything going to happen, I think, before we finally have the final whistle, which should have actually happened 2 minutes and 27 seconds ago. All right, so the teams go back to their locker rooms after the first period. The score is 3 BYU, 1 Utah. We are going to take a little break, and we'll see you in 6 minutes.
Don't forget, folks, we're going to sell chocolate bucks on stage coming up at the second intermission. Get your chocolate bucks on stage, 1 for $1.65.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
If thoughtful dreams, but if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
time, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to the bridge that crosses over
Welcome to a great education.
what it does to those they believe. So let's run till the water
Welcome to new friends.
toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you let
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out
Welcome to all you can imagine.
though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see those gray clouds we're close. We have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
All right, everyone, we go back. And Patrick and I were chatting a little bit in the intermission, and one of the things that we saw happening, especially that third goal, is that the Utah defense is really breaking down, and they're getting sucked out of their position. I was kind of praising them for not falling for that, but then that last goal definitely, they kind of all clustered up and left that guy wide open, Baker, wide open for a rebound. Of course, he's not going to pass on that. Thank you very much.
And you know what? This is going to sound really, really basic, but the basic component of playing defense is you need to stay home, and you see, and that applies in all facets of the defense. I mean, if you're pitching because you want to or you have to, okay, fine, you're the guy, take your spot, but don't collapse down. You need to stay in position. You need to stay, like I was saying, like when you're on the penalty kill, you're saying that diamond formation. You kind of follow the same sort of thing when you're defending on offense as well, even when it's 5-on-5. But you saw, like Anita, you said it perfectly. They were all kind of going towards the puck, and they're like, wait, everyone else on the outside.
Right. The puck finally comes loose.
BYU has more rights to skate when they get the rebound, they do whatnot. Their last two goals just been easy clean-up rebound goals because the Utah defense was going in. And a good hockey team is going to try and force them to do that. BYU knows that.
They know
see that. Now, I'm sure their coach talked about it during the intermission. Their coach sees that. They're like, okay, we're going to do that again. We get whatever we want all day long. So Utah, the Nick Cornelius better have told his boys that, hey, don't draw yourselves in. Stay in position and stay home.
Stay home. All right, and we're off. A little bit of back and forth here, and Anderson carries it across the blue line through the circle, skate by, and wow. You know, O'Donnell has a point. I think O'Donnell's got now a point. Unfortunately, we do not have video replay at the D2 level or the D1 level, but I think he has a legitimate point because I saw that happening as well. Anderson skated right into him, and that made O'Donnell unable to slide horizontally to cover that near post, giving the BYU player a wide open goal.
And that's one of the problems in hockey. It's even talked about at the pro level. Defensive interference or goaltender interference is such an arbitrary thing. I mean, it's either called or it's not, and it's not really reviewable. And O'Donnell's not too happy about the situation, but that situation there, I wasn't even the defense staying home. It was just Anderson was able to have his will. He skates right underneath.
Yes.
And that's not a position issue. That's just complete defense.
Nice stick save by O'Donnell. Puck ends up in the netting. But I think the reason Anderson had that wide open goal is because O'Donnell had gotten tied up and hung up and he couldn't slide across like he was supposed to. He's still upset about it. O'Donnell has to be careful because he did get an unsportsmanlike conduct early this season for mouthing off, yes.
Referees are, they will do it. I mean, hey, they don't want to mess around.
Yeah, they don't really want lip. They don't want to be getting lip. And just because you're a goalie doesn't mean you're immune from, getting a penalty called off.
It's amazing too. I mean, like I said, I traveled with the men's one team a couple of times, and some of these different rinks, the press box is a little bit closer to the ice than ours is, and you can hear it. I mean, the referees and the players, they're it's not. I'll tell you, it's locker room talk is what it is. It's that's hockey for you.
Not suitable for the office.
So thankfully, our booth is a little bit further away than rinks like Arizona State and such, because you can hear it loud and clear from there.
That's right. We don't want you unfortunately having to get that pickup from our bikes. That would be bad. All right, so we're bouncing around, pucks bouncing around in the Utah zone. BYU setting up their cycle. Oh, tries to center from the point, hits a bunch of skates and comes out. And now it's going to be a chase down to the other end, and I think it's going to be, yes it is, icy. Oh my goodness. Who's that? Nade lost an edge. Lost an edge. Oh, I'm sorry, Yumina was trying to snatch that puck to prevent the icing. He lost an edge and boy, he just slammed into the board. Looks like okay, slow to skate back, kind of check and make sure all the parts are in the right place. All right, so we have a face-off at the other end of the Conti. Yeah, hurry up, let's go. Conti is facing off against Osborne. BYU wins the draw, ends up in the corner. Ooh, Osborne centers it to 26. Was that Shimbashi tried to chip it in there, but he hit a bunch of skates and ended up in the corner. Oh, and again, the puck kind of squirts out and bounces over towards the diamond. Decides to just cover it up rather than, facing a cluster of people whacking at it with sticks.
O'Donnell's still talking to the referees down there. He just wants. Sometimes, it is actually a genuine thing. Like sometimes, obviously, you mouth off the referee here and there, but it's hockey, but sometimes you do like, hey, like I want to talk to you about this, and the referee will talk to you about it. I mean, they're having a conversation right now.
Right, this looks like a conversation. It doesn't look like abusive language.
Because it's also, also the referees also set the standard. And in hockey, it's well known that you'll go into a game and in the first couple of minutes you'll see, okay, we know what they're going to call tonight, what they're not going to call tonight. We're going to call a tight game, we're going to call a really good producer game. And in situations, O'Donnell's, he's just asking like, well, what am I supposed to do here? And I guess that's part of the conversation going on down there.
Right, and that standard, here comes Anderson. Nielsen, backhanded. Nice save, O'Donnell's is just flying around. Oh my gosh, O'Donnell's just like having to go all over the place. And any coach will tell you, nothing will irritate a coach on either team faster than inconsistency. So you make that good point, is that O'Donnell's trying to set the standard so that, hey, look, you got to make that call because it should be called every time.
Absolutely. I mean, like I talked to some of the guys on the one team, and they're after some of the games that we played, it's just like they talk to me. It's like we didn't really know what to do. Like the referees are so inconsistent, and obviously you never playing a game on the right. That's not what a respectable team should do. But it is a big part of the game of hockey. You just want to know how referees can call games, so you know how to play your game.
Right. Exactly. Oh, and the puck squirts through on that centering pass. Barris tries a wrist shot, but doesn't really get completely all of it, and so he dribbles in. Now Nielsen, big hit by Mudd on Nielsen right here in front of us on the board. Crowd loves it.
That was one of the bigger hits I've seen here.
Oh, and we're going to have a penalty on Utah for tripping. It's going to be Mudd. It looked like he and the other player were going for the puck, and they just kind of got tangled up.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're going for the puck and you keep your stick down, because almost the weight of the defending player was on Mudd's stick.
Right.
He keeps his stick down, and then the BYU player just kind of fell over his stick, and it is a trip, unfortunately, but it's kind of a bang-bang play in that situation. Mudd's not too happy about it. He's got the reaction I would kind of expect from a play like that, but he goes to the box for 2 minutes, BYU goes to the power play. Utah's got themselves a little bit of a situation.
Yeah,
kind of
17:04 in period. We've got a 2-minute minor penalty on Sam Mudd for tripping. Anderson skates into the corner. I'm sorry, Anderson passes to the corner, then to the point. Eisenstadt with it. Back to Anderson. He skates in for the circle. Centering pass to number 10. That is Barris. Oh, and there's a big pileup, and O'Donnell actually dives behind the net to try and cover the puck up. He doesn't actually cover it up, but because the referees lose sight of the puck, they blow the puck dead. Looks like we might have had a little bit of extracurricular chatter after that whistle. Things may start getting a little chippy if Utah doesn't score a goal here. I think the best way to get back to BYU is just score a goal.
Just get one back. I mean, hey,
It's only 4-1. It's
16 minutes, well over 16 minutes to go in this second period. The game is basically just starting. We've got plenty of time to get back in this hockey game.
Christian tries to carry it across. He does carry it across. Sends it to Gunhorst. Gunhorst sends it all the way across the other side to Baker. Back to Anderson. Mate doing a good job of poke checking. Oh my gosh, we have another
It's going to be a hit from behind across that 1-2. That's a little bit of a weaker call there, but I can see where it's coming from Madej to give a little bit more of a shove in the back there on that BYU player. That's kind of going back to what Nita said about the consistency. Madej's pretty much saying, like, oh, you're going to call that. Like, what's going on there? But he was going for the puck. Arms came out. The referees are looking for in a play like that. It's just arm extension. That's all it is. And they see a little bit of that there. And BYU is going to go 5-on-3 power play.
5-on-3, 16 minutes, 19 seconds left in the period, and for a minute, 16 seconds, Utah's going to have to defend 3 against 5. And the 3 skaters on the ice are Endy and Bortoluzzi. Looks like Yumina. Oh, I'm sorry, Sheridan. Sheridan, Endy, and Bortoluzzi defending against BYU, and they're setting up their. They've got time. Eisenstadt wrists in. Nice save by O'Donnell. And Barris has it behind the net. Sends it out to Nielsen. Back to Anderson.
So look for Utah to stay home here.
Yeah, stay home. Eisenstadt tries to send it. Hits a bunch of bodies. Bounces right back out. Over to Anderson. By the circle.
Good job in transition. Staying home. They're not bunched up.
Right.
BYU
Thornhorst. Oh, and Andy managed to poke it loose from Thornhills, but then BYU picks it up since they do have 2 extra bodies. Eisenstadt with it. He tries to skate it in. Shot for O'Donnell loses sight of the puck.
Like you said, O'Donnell lost sight of the puck in front there. He made the stop, but it was right in front of him. He just couldn't find the puck.
So at 15:20 left in the period.
That's just that goal right there. I mean, I did like the defensive positioning there from Utah. With just that goal's kind of shooting yourself in the foot. 5-on-3 power play for BYU. They are a talented squad, and in a chance like that happens. Just a little bit of a skill gap there in that situation. But don't take penalties against this BYU team that they can pay for. You see it right there.
Exactly. And Utah still is going to have to defend shorthanded for another minute because of the day. So BYU starts behind their own net, and they bring it up. That's Spencer. I'm sorry, that's Holmes. Big hit by Yumina along the boards there. And puck ends up back in the BYU zone. Baker picks it up behind his own net. He skates it up. Another big hit along the boards, this time by Conti.
The referee was a part of it.
And the referee kind of got a little piece of that too. BYU. Nice shot there by Baker and pad save by O'Donnell. Baker retrieves the puck along the boards. Holmes sends it off to the other side. Out to Allen. Allen sends it to Baker, who tries a wrist shot from the circle. Back to Allen, back to Holmes. And the penalty's winding down. BYU's running out of time, and here comes Mudde. Teams are back to full strength. He's there just in time to pick up the puck. He squirts out his own. He's got a little help. Andy's with him. I'm sorry, Mudd is with him. Mudd is fighting hard for the puck. Centering pass to Osola, and unfortunately he sends the puck right into the chest of Smith.
That's a good chance right there. A really nice pass from Mudde. Heads up play for him. He comes out of the box, makes himself a presence immediately. Picks up that puck, skates it in deep, goes to Gretzky's office there behind the net, and he sends a really nice pass on the doorstep to Osola, who's really upset about not making that one, but we'll get plenty more chances.
He'll get more. So 14:02 left in the period. He's got a face-off just to the left of Ben Smith. And Utah wins the draw. Brown sends it along. Puck ends up in the corner. Sola's chasing after it. He sends it along the boards. Shindashi picks it up and sends it out of the zone. Tomchek's trying to send it back to the neutral zone, but BYU finally sends it into the zone. Utah picks it up behind their own net, tries to send it out. He sends it up to Osola. He skates through the neutral zone. Oh, he tries to send it across the template and loses it. Oh, and then BYU pokes it out. Thought BYU touched it.
Maybe it was offside. I think
they're calling offsides on Utah, but I didn't think Template actually touched it. I thought BYU actually touched it. But nonetheless, we're going to have a face-off just outside the blue line. 13 minutes, 27 seconds left in the period. BYU beating Utah 5-1. And out shooting Utah, unfortunately, 24-11 shots on goal. Ooh, Tomchek kind of coughs that one up. Anderson sends it into the corner. Tomchek sends it up to Osola. Osola sends it up to Tretiak, who kind of loses the handle on it. Driscoll picks it up in his own zone. And that sharp, crisp passing, I think BYU's doing a much better job of receiving those hard passes now. They're not bobbling so much.
They're really making me eat my words.
You must have pissed them off. They heard you.
That's just offside there, and Utah's not going to be happy about that, but that definitely was offside. But I mean, in warm-ups, their passes the passes were on target. They just couldn't receive them. But now, on that power play as well, BYU's passing looked a lot better than it did in warm-ups.
Somebody ran down to the locker room and said, "Hey, that guy on YouTube said you guys are bobbling the passes." Oh, the girl on YouTube said you're bobbling the passes.
Well, I guess we have targets on our back now.
We're busted.
Yeah.
All right, so in the face-off circle, it's going to be Baker versus Simikowski. BYU wins the draw. Oh, quick chip into the middle slot, but the pass gets poked out, and then Utah sends it all the way down, a little bit too far. It's going to be icing, so we're going to come back into the Utah zone and do it again. Get another face-off. You almost wonder too if O'Donnell, he's looking pretty good, but maybe he is a little rusty. rusty because he hasn't actually
Could be
played
that
a game
too. I mean,
for
yeah,
quite a long time.
he might have practiced a little bit this week. Obviously with that sort of thing, less reps, but yeah, it could be a little bit of rust too, some mid-season rust.
All right, so Yumina picks it up in his own zone, sends it across to Whittier, who sends a long cross across to Rukowski, who just can't quite get the handle on it. Yumina poking at it, Baker carrying it to the corner. Oh, Stevenson's trying to cut him off. That didn't quite happen. And here goes Baker
BYU took advantage of that. And top Baker. He's having a pretty good game.
Yeah, he is. That goal happened at 12:10 in the second period. And Utah's still struggling with their defense collapsing. And he sends it in deep. Mate goes back there, scoop back, and he goes and sends it back. Andy tries to send it up to Sheridan, but it gets a little too much mustard on it. It's going to go all the way to the other end. And no icing since Utah is picking it up, but they're now having the puck stuck in their own zone. And boy, they're really having trouble. They keep hanging on to the puck and possessing it, carrying it out of the zone. All right, this is a little better. Kurt carries across blue line, tries to get around his defender. And BYU puts it up, and here they come the other way. That was Holmes. Sends it up to Morrow. Uses the handle on it, but he managed to then retrieve it. Nielsen sends it into the corner. Morrow goes back there. Horst has it. Sends it up to the point to Holmes, who one-times it way wide of the net. Big scramble behind the net. Andy fighting off, looks like Nielsen. And then Brown scoops it up. He tries to carry it, sends it up. Gets past, looks like Carpenter. Still fighting for the neutral zone. I'm sorry, that was Made. Made tries to cut it off, but Funhorst sends it in deep. Bormuzzi sends it behind the net. Gets sent back, and Bormuzzi retrieves it again behind the net. Sends it along the boards. Up to Made. Made sends a nice pass up to Andy. I'm sorry, to Mudd. No, to Conti. I'm just getting them all wrong. To Conti, who one times it as soon as he crosses the blue line. Stick saved by Smith. Digging for it over along the boards. It squirts out of the zone. Tomczyk retrieves it. Sends it back up. And BYU sends it in deep. Ends up behind the net. Tomczyk chasing it into the corner. Up to Kurt. Kurt tries to send it up into the neutral zone, but he doesn't quite get all of it, and so it ends up deflecting all the way into the BYU zone. And stretch pass. Nice save by O'Donnell. Stretch pass. That was to Christensen, who skated in. O'Donnell made a nice shoulder pad save.
Utah's defense was caught, pinching a little bit there, playing a little bit too far up, and they kind of just let that pass go right through, and Christensen had his breakaway there.
Yep,
thankfully O'Donnell. There you see O'Donnell's skill right there. I mean, that was a brilliant save.
Anderson skates in and tries to do a backhand. O'Donnell makes another save. Another great save by O'Donnell.
That's another great save as well. I mean, the play here, if we're looking at it from looking at O'Donnell, the skater was coming in and going to O'Donnell, or to the skater's left. O'Donnell had to kind of stick with that skater. The skater tried to tuck it back the opposite way. O'Donnell kind of stuck with the play, tucked his glove right next to him, made a really nice save.
So we're going to have a face-off to O'Donnell's left. It's going to be Anderson versus Tretiak. And BYU comes up with it. Christensen sends it in deep. Back to Anderson, who skates behind the net. He's trying to find someone, of course, in front to pass to. He's getting checked pretty hard by Whittier. And then nice pass up to Sam Mudd across the blue line with it. He sends along behind the net, but nobody there. And then here comes Yumina, and he's unable to keep it in the zone. He skates with it, trying to help the Utes regroup. Sends pass up to Carpenter. Puck ends up in the corner, up along the boards. Oh, big hit there between Mudd and Anderson. Anderson carries across the blue line into the Utah zone. He's getting poke checked hard, checked by Whittier. And we have a penalty coming up. It's going to be a delayed penalty. So Smith heads to the BYU bench.
Might be a
somebody got twirled around in that skate behind as they went
I'd like
behind
to see the
net.
call here. If it was on Christensen, like if
Yumina.
if it comes from what he did on Christensen. Yep, it's a hook. Wow,
That kind of looked like they were skating together and
yeah,
then just got tangled
It
up.
didn't look like it was actually a hook proper.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
not Yumina. It's going to be Whittier.
He kept his stick. Both players had their sticks on the ice, but the Utah player kept his stick like harder onto the ice and kept the BYU player from doing anything. And I guess that's a interference or hooking type call, but a little bit of a weaker one there. Either way, I could see why it was called. Utah not really happy about the call at all.
They're not happy about it at all.
I could see why that'd be frustrating. Coach Nick Fornila is also not happy about it as well.
Yeah, he's having a little conversation. Well, and these calls, it's like they're not calling some of the bigger calls, and then they're calling these things that just seem to be kind of like two people instantly with lights.
Yeah,
or getting turned up.
game from the officiating staff. That's how you play it.
Utah's going to have to adapt and figure out how to not end up in the penalty box because that's hurting them. And I just said that. All right, so that was a hard slap shot by, is that Christensen?
It was Chase
Christensen from the circle. O'Donnell didn't have a chance. That thing was blistered.
That's as good of a one-timer as you're going to see at the ACHA.
That was one of those 90-mile-an-hour.
Level. I mean, that was beautiful. That's get your pass, wide open shot, slap it in the back of the net. That was a really impressive shot there from Christensen. That, again, like I said, that's one of the top shots you're going to see at the ACHA men's 2 level. I mean, that was really, really well done.
And that shot comes at 8 minutes, 40 seconds left in the second period. BYU now leads 7-1.
I mean, this is a very similar course of events as last night. I mean, Utah scored the first goal, and then after that, that was about it for
And they had a disastrous second period.
And that's what we're seeing again tonight. I mean, I really do think that Utah is actually having a better game. It doesn't look like it on the scoreboard, but they are skating with them. They are playing with them. It's just the defense is being drawn in, and the penalties have hurt them. A couple of power play goals for the Brigham Young Cougars. So, I think they are playing a little bit better of a game, but unfortunately for the Utes, it's just it's coming at a price with the penalties that they've taken. And
I would tend to agree with you. If they played like this in last night's second period,
I think they would have
had a lot closer.
I think so. I really do. I mean, like last night to me, they just looked very sluggish. The Utes did. They didn't really look like they wanted to play too much. And tonight, the will to play is there. They want to play, and they're skating with BYU. It's just they're taking bad penalties. They're BYU.
And they're making some mistakes.
And that's what that's why I give credit to BYU. That's why they're a good team. I mean, they draw the Utah defense in.
They're definitely shooting more. They're getting more shooting opportunities.
Absolutely.
Which is important.
Last night they had 10 shots all game. We're already at 11 through 12 minutes in the second.
Okay, Nielsen carries it across the blue line. He's getting poke-checked hard by Mortaluzzi. Oh, and Heck tries to set it in from the point, and it goes off of Kurt. A bunch of players go down behind the net. Utah comes up, Made sends a pass off to Kurt. That was a pretty pass. Kurt carries it across the blue line himself. He's looking for help. He doesn't have anybody to pass to. Finally, he has a centering pass to Made. Made centers it back to him, tries to return the favor, and then the puck trickles out. Brown's got to chase it down in his own zone. Sends it up to Kurt. Kurt tries to send it back to Brown. A little bit of a muff on that pass there. So Brown digs it back out again. Kurt has to dig it up along the boards. They're kind of hung up along the boards. BYU recovers. He sends it into the corner. And it's going to be Fetzer going for it, but ends up getting poked out. Templin's got it. He backhands it up to Conti, but doesn't quite get it to him. Nice poke check there, and the centering pass gets picked up by Tomacek. And it's going to be a race. Here goes Templin versus Holmes, and it's a tie. Conti scoops it up, scoops the puck up. Holmes whacking at it, and then Christensen ends up with it. He skates through neutral zone, sends it up to the waiting Allen, who then deflects it in so he can go and change up. Utah tries to send it back out of the zone to get something started. Conti scoops it up, sends it across to Brown, who tries to send it up to Templin, but that gets intercepted by Barris. And then that gets intercepted by Tomacek, and BYU manages to keep it in barely, and finally gets knocked loose. Here comes Connie, carries it himself across the blue line. He tries to go for a shot, hits somebody in the shin pads. Osola picks up the rebound. He shoots it in. Smith makes a pad save. We're going to have a face-off to his right. That was actually a fairly nice scoring sequence. I'd like to see more of those.
Yeah, it was a good setup for Utah. I mean, it's all about transition, right? I mean, a lot of good hockey teams are able to take advantage when the puck is in transition, and that's when you get, odd man rushes, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, whatever it may be. And Utah, one of their first better-looking chances on the counterattack there.
All right, BYU tries to send something in, but that gets broken up. Stevenson carries it across the line himself, and then he throws it in deep. And Johnson's in there trying to chase it in. And Utah manages to keep it in. Umina scoops it up in the corner. And it ends up trickling all the way down to O'Donnell. Whittier picks it up behind his own net. He tries to start something. Oh, he misses his guy, and so it ends up trickling loose in the neutral zone. Umina tries to pick it up, and then BYU pokes it out. Here comes Thunhorst to Baker. Baker tries to send it in, but it gets hit some bodies. Siemiatkowski sends it along the boards behind the net. Whittier's there trying to pick it up, and he does. He comes up with it. Oh, and he tries to send up Siemiatkowski. That was an unfortunate bobble there. Nice save by O'Donnell. Baker could have had his 5th goal of the game. Stevenson picks it up along the boards. And BYU sends back in, so Whittier's got to go back in there to retrieve it. He sends it up. Umina tries to clear it out. He does. Nice hit there by Siemiatkowski against Eisenstadt right here in front of us. And here we go. Here goes Indy across the blue line. I'm sorry, is that Carpenter? Sorry, I couldn't see. 21, 24. Kind of hard to see from my side. All right. Skates around the corner. Oh, and it ends up back in the corner. Carpenter's still fighting for it in the corner. Mudd comes in to help. Puck kind of trickles out, and Umina tries to keep it in, but he is unable to do so. And here comes Bortoluzzi. He tries to send back up. Ends up in the neutral zone. Bortoluzzi has to go chase for it in his own corner. He tries to send it up, but doesn't get quite enough mustard on it, so it just kind of hangs there in the corner. So now they've got to dig it out. Finally, Tredek scoops it up, tries to work it behind the net. He's got some opposition by Walton. He and Walton going at it behind the net. And then in comes Fetzer to help, and finally, looks like Umina comes up with it. He skates across the neutral zone, across the blue line, and he tries to pass it off, but it gets poke-checked loose by Holmes. 4 minutes, 13 seconds left in the period. Here comes BYU down the left side, across the blue line. Oh, and it gets poke-checked loose. Carpenter scoops it out. Chris Heck retrieves it in his own zone, tries to send it up, and to the waiting Walton, who then sends it to Christensen, centering pass, and Baker just missed that one. Brown tries to send along the boards, gets hung up. Trediak picks it up, carries it across the neutral zone. He doesn't have a lot of help, though, so he sends it in deep. Smith has to stop it. Utah goes for a line change. Here comes Baker and BYU. He sends it off to Christensen. Christensen drops back off to Baker, who sends it back, a centering pass to the waiting Christensen. Utah's getting a little bunched up in that slot right there. Here comes Kurt. He sends it into the zone. He doesn't have a lot of help. Oh, now he has some help. Oh, and he and Made are converged behind the net. Unfortunately, BYU ends up with it, comes up with it. Baker up to Anderson. Brown fights for it along the boards. Baker sends it up to Christensen, who's been out for a long time, so he says, I've had enough. He goes onto the bench for a change. Utah's still trying to send it up. Looks like we have offsides that bounced off of somebody's skate, bounced back into the zone, so Utah is going to be taking a face-off just outside of the blue line. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left in the second period. BYU leading Utah 7-1. Outshooting Utah 30 shots on goal to 13. BYU wins the draw, and they skate the puck around in their own zone, trying to start something. Up to Morrow, up to Nielsen. Nielsen skates across the blue line himself, poke check loose by Made. And then Andy scoops it up. He starts something behind his own net. He sends it back around behind the net. Ends up in the corner. And Morrow in the corner with Brown trying to knock it loose. Still skating with around his own net. He tries a wraparound, but that goes wide. Barris dumps it in behind the net. And looks like BYU is just really pretty much passing crisply as they weren't in the first period, and kind of having their way, unfortunately, with Utah. And the puck gets deflected over the glass. We're going to have a face-off. All right, 2 minutes, 17 seconds left in the period. And we've got a fan, happy fan down in the stands showing off his souvenir. Osborne facing off against Tretiak. Utah comes up with the puck. Brown behind the net. And then it gets hung up behind the net. Oh, and they're whacking at it. Still stuck behind the net. Still stuck behind the net. And finally it comes out to Made. He skates it out through the neutral zone. Cross the blue line on the right side. Oh, lose the handle on it. But then he retrieves it, and it looks like we're going to have offsides. I think offsides on that when he got hung up. I'm not sure. I thought he was actually across the line already. But nonetheless, we're going to have a face-off just outside the blue line. Utah goes for a line change. BYU also goes for a change. Conti is going to face off, looks like against Osborne. And Utah sends it in deep into the BYU zone. BYU picks it up, sends it up to Allen. Allen sends it up, and then Whittier pokes it back. Umina sends it back in. He skates it across himself, across the blue line. Skates through the circle. He tries to dump it on net. Ooh! And Osola was right there, but he couldn't quite get it on point, on target. He sends it up to Whittier. Whittier, and then Umina goes for a shot, but it bounces off of Allen's skate, and then he retrieves the rebound and throws it in. And Rodado decides to just leave it for one of his Utah teammates. Utah again tries to send it through the zone, but it ends up going too deep, all the way into the other zone. Icing waved off. Holmes picks it up, sends it along the boards. Here comes Baker, the dangerous Mr. Baker, and he goes for a shot. Skates across the blue line, goes for a shot. O'Donnell hangs on to it. And we're going to have a face-off to his left. 1 minute, 6 seconds left in the period.
Utah is just going to have to, like I said last night, go back to the fundamentals in the locker room.
They've picked it up a little bit now in the second half
I
of this
really
period.
do think they have. They have picked it up. They just need, they obviously need goals, but right now it's just, they just need to kind of go back to the basics and
they've had more scoring chances, but it's the sudden, the occasional breakdown and collapse of the defense that's really hurting them, and the penalties, the unnecessary penalties.
I mean, yeah, the penalties have accounted for 2 or 3 of the BYU goals at least.
And I agree with you. The score looks worse than I think the play that we're seeing on the ice, but I think that's just kind of what happens when you're, you know, a new team and you're still learning the ropes. I mean, this D2 team really is a new team. It's not the old original D2 team of Utah.
It's not, no. That's actually the men's 1 team now.
Right. And, you know, last year was supposed to be their first year, but instead it's this year. Have brand new coaching staff. This is all their first year. So sometimes it just takes some time to, you know, you just have to work the bugs out. And the only way you can do that is by playing and learning from your mistakes. 13 seconds left in the period. Stevenson tries to knock it back in, but he doesn't have a lot of help, so Bortoluzzi picks it up in his own zone to regroup. And that is the end of the period. Boy, that would have been ugly. Thank goodness Donald was paying attention to that one. Baker realized that O'Donnell was just going to stand in there, and he just shoveled it hard, and O'Donnell made the stick save. And we go into the locker rooms after 2 periods of play with BYU leading Utah 7-1, and unfortunately outshooting them 30 shots on goal to 13. What do you think Utah needs to do to come back into the second period? Or in the third period?
I think this game might be out of reach for this Utah team. I don't think they are capable of necessarily scoring 6 goals in 1 period against BYU. I know, obviously, I shouldn't be saying that as a Utah broadcaster, but I really think that.
Well, we have to be honest.
Honestly, I think that's the assessment. I think Coach Nick Fornelius knows that as well, and I think what he's going to do is he's going to tell his players, he's going to say, hey, look, okay, we've made some costly mistakes. Let's start from square one, and instead of focusing on winning the game, which is obviously the task at hand, and you're going to hear a lot of hockey people say this, let's win the period. Let's just win the period.
Yeah,
that's all we have to do. If we win this period coming out scoring more goals than BYU, we'll take that away as a win. That's what we need to do. I think that's a smart.
It's also a smart way to develop, because you're going to always end up at some point behind, and it's a smart way of just teaching your players that behind doesn't mean you've lost.
No, behind doesn't mean you necessarily lost at all. I mean, you just need to teach your players that in situations like this, it stinks. And players get frustrated. Even coaching staff gets frustrated. And it stinks to play frustrated. You need to, with that frustration that you have, it's really hard to do. What makes a good hockey player from a decent one or from a bad one is you take that frustration and you don't play with it, but you turn it into like will to play and just like positive vibes. And just, the Utes, what they're going to do is, like I said, I think their biggest thing is come back, play strong for the third period, and try and win that period. And if they do that, I think Coach Fernandez will say, okay, that's a win. Let's build off this for the next game. And you go back to game one, the next game the Utah men's 2 team plays, they say, hey, let's win this first period, let's win, do period by period. And then eventually you can look at the game as a whole and say, we're going to win this game.
Yeah, I think that's a smart strategy. So we will take a little break, and when we come back, we will see if that is indeed what they do. All right, folks, we'll be back.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the art.
weapons, have no trip. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water
Welcome to new
meets the
friends.
sun. We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Salt Lake Visitor Center, calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the art.
weapons, have no trip. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those.
All right, fans, welcome back. We are just about to start the third period, and Patrick and I are kind of wondering where BYU went.
Yeah, do they go back to Provo?
Yeah,
They haven't.
they feel so bad
know
they
where
got
they
back
went.
on the bus? I don't think so.
But no, I think they want to come out here and finish it off. Here comes the coaching staff. They'll
Here
be out
comes
in
the
just a
coaching
moment.
staff.
Just talking over the game plan, maybe a couple minutes too long, but that's okay.
And, you know,
It'll make for a
as we
good third
close
period.
last period, the thing we're going to look out for is, I think, I agree with you, Patrick. I think that's a smart thing to do. We'll see if head coach Nick Fornelis said the same thing, is just try to win this period. Just forget the score, because that score is what it is. You can't change that.
Pretend this is the first period. It's 0-0. If you win the period against a team like BYU, that's a positive thing to say. I mean, like we were saying, this BYU hockey team is a very talented squad of guys. I mean, one of the top in the West Division of this ACHA Men's 2 league. And if you could just win a period against these guys, I think that's a positive you could take away from a game that's been overwhelmingly negative from the scoreboard point of view. But just win the period, and that's what you can build off. You know, you're playing a good team. Win the period against a good team, build off that for the next game.
And I think this is also going to be a good time for Utah to start figuring out how to stay out of the penalty box, right? I mean, some of these calls, yeah, maybe we don't agree with the ref, but on the other hand, like you said, if you know that's the way it's going to go, then don't hook somebody.
Right.
I remember hearing a coach once say that if you hook someone, that's a bad penalty because that meant your feet stopped moving. It's a penalty for your basically laziness.
Right.
You're just not moving your feet.
Right.
That's how you get called for hooking.
Right.
So here we go. Conti carries it in, skates it in, and the puck gets deflected all the way out. Whittier picks it up. I think the other thing that is kind of a shame with BYU having such a strong program is that I don't think we've mentioned it in this broadcast, but I know it's fairly well known as BYU has lost its affiliation with the university. So if they're going to continue to play, they're not going to be able to play as a BYU club
That's
affiliate
after
anymore.
the season?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you did not know that. I'm sorry, you didn't know that.
No,
that
I
was
did
actually
not.
news
Wow.
that made news just before the start of this season. Was BYU, the university, pulled its affiliation with the club. So I don't know how they're going to
I'm not sure. Yeah, I wonder
regroup
why.
for next season. It's a shame because they're such a strong program.
They're a really strong program. Yeah, I mean, for the last couple of years, I mean, they've been a really strong program. And I say that, I mean, not as like, not trying to say anything just to say it, but BYU is a really good
they're a good hockey program.
Yeah.
And it'll be our loss as well because that'll be one less
You lose a
competitive
really good
club
opponent.
that's only just a couple-hour bus drive away.
Right.
And Baker goes for a shot from the high slot, and O'Donnell covers it up.
Yeah, hopefully
And
can
it's not,
enter negotiation
there's not
or
a lot
something.
of news about, like I've kind of looked around, there's not a lot of news about why, and BYU isn't the college isn't really, giving us a lot of information. I know that the club has, created some petitions and has tried to, appeal that, but it is a definite decision. There's no
way that
if or
they'll
buts
be.
about it.
So this is BYU's last season, is what you're saying.
As a
basically.
BYU affiliate, correct.
Wow.
And for I don't know how long. I don't know. Again, there's not a lot of information about it, so I don't know. What the terms are, or how long it's going to be, or And Utah went through that. Utah also lost their affiliation way back in the early days and had to win it back. That's when AJ Bolden came along, and he and his teammates worked back to recreate that relationship with the university and create a good relationship
there
with
you
the
go.
university.
You can see it like that. Hopefully, we could see BYU follow a very similar path that this program followed.
Yeah, it may
once
take
again,
a couple years to rebuild
right.
that relationship, but it's not a forever thing necessarily. I just don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that I know something that I don't. I really don't know. I just know that the announcement was made, and BYU is looking at what their alternatives are, but we probably will not be able to see them as a club unless they come up with some funds.
That's a shame, yeah.
Next season.
Yeah, that's because this is a bigger crowd for. I think this is one of the biggest crowds we've seen for a men's 2 game here at Utah. I mean, they draw. People want to come see.
Right.
This
is the natural rivalry. Utah and BYU is a natural rivalry.
This is when I was broadcasting 2 years ago for my first season broadcasting with this program. Even when Utah M1 would play BYU M2, this place would be. I mean, you would be able to see open seats anywhere. People show up for the in-state games because they're the fun games to watch. Because people in Utah are like, "Oh, BYU in Utah? I don't care what sport they're playing. I want to go watch." And so you're going to miss out on a really good opportunity to play a good team and a nice program, and hopefully they could figure things out down there in Provo, and hopefully they can follow a similar trajectory as us, because I hate to see them leave. Really do. I mean, they're our rival, obviously, but I have a lot of good things to say about them and playing them, and hopefully they can figure things out down there, because it's going to be a shame losing an opponent like them.
All right, so we have a face-off in the Utah zone. Endy versus, looks like it was Osborne. Excuse me, I got a little bit slow there. I was just reminiscing. All right, BYU carries the puck behind their own zone, sends it up to the high slot. Eisenstadt dumps it in. It goes wide. Kurt comes up with it. He sends it up to Endy. Oh, but it gets picked off. And BYU grabs it. Osborne picks it up and sends it in deep. And it looks like somebody got in ahead of him. It looks like Walton might have got a little ahead of him. Oh, it's icing. I'm sorry. Send the puck in a little too far, and it's icing. So they're going to come back to the BYU end, and we'll have a face-off just to the right of goalie Smith. And it's going to be Osborne versus Tretiak. And Utah wins the draw. Carpenter tries to send it along the glass, and he gets a little bit enthusiastic, sends it into the netting, so we're just going to have a do-over. Meanwhile, BYU decides it's a good time for a line change. haven't really had a chance to see if Utah has come up with a different strategy, like if they've come out with like you said, to win the period. It's kind of hard to tell, but
They're hanging in there right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking
0-0.
for that. Yep, I'm looking for that. All right, Driscoll sends it up to Baker, who misses that pass. Mudd carries it and sends it to Tretiak, who carries it across the blue line, but he coughs it up. Baker scoops it up. Umina sends it across to Whittier. Whittier in the neutral zone, he sends it along the boards. Oh, it gets picked off by Anderson, and then picked off again by Christensen, who hands it off to Baker. Back to Christensen, tries to skate it in from the circle, and then I can't tell who. Baker is right there trying to get the rebound. Did it go in?
I think
Looks like it went in.
The referee says it did.
Yep.
Was it Baker?
No, instead I think it was number 17, that's Allen. There was a couple of people there whacking at it, and I think that was Allen who sent it in. We'll listen to see if the what the scorekeeper, our announcer, says. But there's a bit of a scramble there, and that rebound got picked up and in, and so now at 16:27, BYU adds another goal. It's 8-1. Ooh, a little bit of collision there on the line. Oh, scored by 37. So that was Ammon Anderson who scored that, who poked that in, that rebound in. So it was not Baker. And now it looks like we have icing again. So they're going to come on back to the Utah zone. And the faceoff is going to be just to the right of O'Donnell. And it's Thunhorst versus Tretiak. Puck squirts all the way out of the zone. Driscoll picks it up, sends it up along the boards. Nielsen sends it in. Thunhorst chases after it. He and Sheridan go into the corner. Carpenter tries to go after it. He's trying to knock it loose. Driscoll goes for a one-timer, but it hits somebody's shin pads and bounces back out. Thunhorst is going after it. Nielsen sends it back in, and O'Donnell decides to jump on it. I think that was a wise play because there was Thunhorst was sitting there right there waiting for it, waiting for that centering pass. And O'Donnell's having another conversation with the referee.
I think he thinks the puck didn't cross the line for that last goal.
On the goal.
Yeah, that could be the case.
And I think I agree with you. O'Donnell does have to be careful about how much he talks to the referees.
Yeah.
This is one of those cases where I wonder if maybe one of our captains needs to start, talking to the referee about that sort of thing, so that O'Donnell doesn't end up getting a bad reputation with the referees, because they'll remember goalies that give them a hard time.
Yep. You can create a reputation
just
for
by
yourself
2 cents worth.
Very easy, yeah.
For what it's worth.
And referees won't like you.
All right, so puck ends up in the netting, so we're going to have a face-off to the right of Smith. It's going to be Osborne versus Siemenkowski. And a shot from the blue line goes wide. Who was that? Was that Brown? And puck comes back. BYU scoops it up. And Cox carries it in. Tucker Cox carries it in. Puck kind of bounces around, and, ooh, man, Osborne had a chance at that, but it went behind the net. Puck still in the Utah zone. Siemenkowski finally managed to knock it out in neutral zone. BYU picks it up. That's Eisenstadt. He's getting chased down by Brown, who then gets the puck from him, but then he loses it. Stevenson runs in there, goes in there to scoop it up, and the puck squirts out, ends up in neutral zone, and now it's a race. Baker picks it up. He's looking for his centering pass. Nice defense there by Whittier to break up that centering pass. And BYU still trying to keep it in, but it looks like it bounces up and hits somebody on the Utah bench. So that means the puck is out of play, so they're going to have a face-off. Siemenkowski, Austin, he's the one there skating around number 9 without the nameplate. I had a nice little chat with him a couple of home periods ago. He actually came here on the advice of George Chalos, who's the assistant coach for the D1 men's team. I guess he played for George Chalos, for Coach Chalos in one of his junior teams, and convinced him to come out here and get an education in Salt Lake and come play hockey for Utah.
Not a bad deal at all. I mean, play hockey in a awesome place in Salt Lake City, and Charlos is gonna Coach Charlos, I should say, is gonna be a key in recruiting some of these better athletes to come to.
He's got quite a
Utah.
network out
He
there.
Does.
He owns a team called the Long Beach Sharks, I believe, and he's been around hockey teams at all levels, hockey squads at all levels.
He's going to be very key for this Utah team, and like I was saying, I mean, that he's going to be the reason, or one of the major reasons, I should say, that this program makes the next step.
And I believe he has a degree in law. He has a JD, a Juris Doctorate, so he understands the business side of it all very well, I'm sure. Driscoll comes in, centering pass goes all the way through. Kurt picks it up, and he sends it out. Tries to send it out of the zone. Instead, it ends up in the Utah bench. So it's going to be out of play. 13:21 left in the third period. Again, the score is 8-1. BYU leads Utah. And Utah comes up with the puck. Made, sorry, sends it across to Kurt. Has a little trouble handling onto it, but he sends it in to the zone. BYU ends up picking it up. Nielsen tries to send it in, but he ends up sending it to Driscoll. Puck ends up behind the net. Weeder gives chase. Thunhorst pokes at it, and then Kurt picks it up. And Utah's really having trouble getting that tape-to-tape passing going right now. They're managing to win the puck, but then they can't get past like one carry or one pass.
Passing is what makes a good team a great team, and
yeah, they're really having trouble connecting.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of those early part of the season where they're having that same trouble. I'm just not seeing that tape-to-tape passing. And I know Coach Nick Fornelius has talked about they really needed to work on possessing the puck and carrying it from the defense into the neutral zone to set up their offense. And that is not happening right now.
They'll be able to work on some of this over the break as well. I mean, they get a long break,
yeah, they
so
got a nice
hopefully
long break to work on that.
They can come back out of the break stronger and have a very good second half of the season.
Ooh, linesman gets hit by the puck in the side. That's going to sting. Fighting for the puck along the boards here. Still fighting for it. Finally, BYU comes up with it. Osborne skates towards the net. He tries to send it in there. A bunch of people whacking at it, and O'Donnell covers it up. All right, so O'Donnell has faced 42 shots on goal. He's getting quite the welcome back.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots to face.
A lot of shots, and it's still 12 minutes left in the period.
Right.
He might be going for 50 before the game's over. All right, Tretiak picks it up, carries it behind the net. He's trying to start something, and his pass goes all the way through, all the way to Eisenstadt, who sends it right back in to Fetzer. Bortoluzzi has it. He's trying to get something started. He sends it up to Tretiak, and Tretiak loses the handle on it. Puck bounces around a little bit. Fetzer comes up with it from the point. He tries to send it in, gets deflected. And finally, Utah managed to send it out, but goes all the way to the other end. No icing. Eisenstadt starts with it in his own corner. Passes it up to Christensen. Christensen carries it across the blue line. Tries to skate it in, gets poked loose by Tomacek. And Johnson scoops it up. He has a chance. He skates across the blue line and he sends a wrist shot that gets deflected off a stick and up into the netting.
An interesting little tidbit here, and this is going to sound maybe not as smart as it should, but like we were saying, O'Donnell's faced 44 shots, like we said. His save percentage for this game is .82. His save percentage for this season is also .82. For facing so many shots, he's not a bad goaltender. I mean,
right.
that save percentage, obviously, it's nothing elite or anything, but that for what these games are, for what they're worth, I mean, that is not a bad save percentage for facing the amount of shots that he faces per game.
Right. And I mean, the score could easily be double digits
Absolutely.
if it wasn't for O'Donnell.
And obviously the goals against average is a little bit high, and but really when you see that, goals against average is not everything as a goalie. I would say the save percentage is definitely means more.
Nice poke check by O'Donnell, and then a nice save and a pad save. So O'Donnell came out and broke up that pass, and now we have a little bit of after whistle, post whistle entertainment for everyone. We got the D1 men's team observing from afar, from up top. They're doing their warm-ups. They're looking down. And now Utah has to be careful because when the game is as far away as this, it's really easy for tempers to start flaring and people to start losing their tempers and going in and getting dumb penalties. Looks like it's going to be offsetting penalties. So it'll be
roughing, most likely.
Yeah, you called it. Oh, cross-checking and roughing.
Oh, wow.
So cross-checking by Anderson of BYU and then roughing by Brown of Utah. So the offsetting penalties 4-on-4, but this is where Utah has to be careful not to start losing their temper, getting dumb penalties. We definitely don't want a DQ or any majors.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, I do think that they're also at a little disadvantage skating a 4-on-4. If it's a 4-on-4, BYU is going to have an advantage. So here we go. It's going to be Conti facing off Thunhorst, excuse me. And Utah wins the draw. Umina sends it back. Oh, that was not a good idea. He sent it back there, but Morrow was right there waiting for it. Oh, nice check there. Nice shoulder check by Whittier, who retrieves the puck. Conti to Conti. He sends it out of the zone. Morrow picks it up. He tries to send it centering pass, but it gets broken up by Osola. Thunhorst sends it back, and Driscoll now carries it across, sends it up to Morrow, who does a quick little move right at the blue line. He skates it through the circle. 1:27 left in the offsetting penalties, 10 minutes left in the period. Utah recovers in their own zone. Whittier's got the puck in the corner. Oh, he loses it to Driscoll. Puck gets sent all the way around. Conti scoops it up. He skates it behind his own net, sends it off to Osola. And Osola tries to carry it through his zone, and he sends it up. Nice little pass there to Endy. Endy skates it across. I'm sorry, it's Umina, not Endy. Umina ends up next to the boards. He managed to get it across to Sam Mudd. Sam Mudd sends it around the boards, but there's nobody there in red and white to receive it. Instead, Driscoll picks it up. He's trying to move it up along the boards. Osborne picks it up, sends it along the boards. Templin's there. He tries to move it along, and he's fighting for it with Whittier. And Sam Mudd ends up with it. He tries a nice wrist shot from the circle, but Ben Smith is right there with the save. 36 seconds left in the offsetting penalties. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left in the period. Score is 8-1, BYU all the way. All right, so Endy versus, quick shot right off the face-off, goes wide. Christensen sends it along the boards. BYU starts their breakout from their end. Gets past Made. Christensen carries it through the neutral zone, sends it up to Baker, and he gets hung up by a couple of defenders, and then Christensen tries to scoop up the rebound, but he's unable to get good wood on it, even though they're not made of wood. Baker picks it up.
Not anymore, at least.
Not anymore. It's all some sort of like polymer, resin, carbon fiber thing.
At the next whistle, I got a little interesting tidbit about
good.
that. Yeah.
Okay, Baker picks it up, and the teams are back to full strength, as you can hear from the sound of Ben Smith whacking the ice with his stick. Endy picks it up, and we've got a BYU. It's Baker's down in the Utah end. He's still staying down. He's kind of slow to get up. Endy tries for a little shot on goal. Smith deflects it. Fortunately, Baker looks like he's back up on his feet, but he's going in for a change. I didn't see what happened in that collision, but he went down pretty hard. Tomczyk carrying from his own zone to Templin. Templin sends it up in deep. BYU picks it up. 7 minutes, 56 seconds left in the period. 8-1 the score. Here comes Holmes. He sends it in deep. Brown's there for Utah to pick it up. Then he's joined by a whole bunch of people. Oh my God, we have a party back there. Conti goes down pretty hard. Teams are looking a little tired to me, maybe both teams, not just Utah, but BYU looks like they're skating a little slower as well. Conti scoops that one up. He carries it across the line. He goes for a wrist shot, but it goes off someone's shin pad, so he picks up his own rebound in the corner. And here comes Nielsen. He sends it up to Morrow. Morrow sends it back to Nielsen. And he loses the handle on it. Nice poke check there by Whittier. Whittier tries to block that one, but it trickles through the slot. Fortunately, nobody lays a stick on it. Carpenter fighting for it in the corner. Now, another Ute player. Puck still in the corner. Finally squirts out around the net, all the way around the boards. And nice pass up to, looks like it's Carpenter, but he can't quite get to it. It's a little bit out of his reach. Oh, there's a late hit there on that play by Allen on Carpenter. So Carpenter goes after number 15. Whoa, and the puck just kind of trickles through the crease. Almost went his own net, and I don't think Smith saw it. It just kind of went right by his feet. 6 minutes, 33 seconds left in the period. Brown tries to send it up the boards. Finally, pass up to Made. He's got by himself 1-on-2. Now he's got company. Trinidad's there with him. Kurt's there with him. Oh, and he misses the puck. Here comes BYU. They got a 2-on-2. Cox carries across the blue line on the left side. He's being chased by Umina, and then he sends it to Allen, and then Allen to Barris. Barris goes for a shot. Saved by O'Donnell. And now Made comes the other way, but he doesn't have any help. Oh, and then Allen went for a check, but Made sidestepped it and missed it. Sheridan picks up the puck in his own zone. 5 minutes, 53 seconds left in the period. Scores 8-1. Umina carries it across the blue line through a crowd. Nice pass to Kurt. Kurt managed to try a shot, but it gets deflected out to the side. Umina picks it up. Sheridan with a one-time wrist shot. Oh, whoa, and it goes in! So Sheridan goes for a wrist shot and hits Smith high in the pads. He loses the handle on it. Puck goes up in the air, and he tries to glove it, but instead he knocks it into his own goal. Yes. So goal for Utah.
Smith is not happy with himself right now, and obviously so. But yeah, he could get a handle on the puck. It hits him a couple of times, bounces over his shoulder, and puts to the back of the net.
And you know, Smith, I don't think Smith can be too hard on himself because that was a rising shot. So the momentum of the puck is when it bounced, it was still going to roll forward,
right,
no matter how it bounced. I think, you know, he can be mad about it, but it was also not a soft shot.
Right. An awkward shot to save, to say the least.
Yes. So 5 minutes, the goal comes at 5 minutes, 34 seconds in the third period, and Utah gets on the board.
Referees talking to each other now, I'm not sure why.
I don't know why. So now that shot now, if we're going by your strategy that we talked about before, the score is 1-1 for this period.
Right, I mean, it's a good period for Utah right now.
And what were you you said you had an interesting tidbit.
Well, just about the six in general, actually, just a couple of days ago in the mechanical engineering lab here at the University of Utah, I was actually doing some bending tests on composite hockey sticks. It's interesting to see the properties that they have compared to wooden sticks, obviously. Wooden sticks being heavier, and the reason composite sticks introduced into the game is just because just they're lighter and easier to hold, and you're able to have the flexure and the shot on the stick. But it's interesting to see, you know, the comparisons, and studies like that are being done just to kind of improve the hockey stick.
And differential flexing, so you can have more flex near the blade and,
right.
more stiffness
and
up near the upper part of the handle.
Most sticks actually have a different material for the blade and a different material for the actual shaft itself. So it was interesting to see that for sure. I know I keep saying that, but it was cool. You know, you take a little piece of the shaft and you bend it. And we bent this thing very, very far. I mean, like, it did not crack in half. It would not crack in half. It was like probably about a 6-inch sample of a composite hockey stick, and you drop the weight down on it for the 3-point bending test, and it actually it cracked. It failed at one point, but never actually cracked in two because it's a very flexy material. So.
And that's important in sports. A lot of people don't realize that one of the most dangerous things to happen. It's like this happens in any sport that has like a stick, whether it's lacrosse, hockey, softball. If the thing's shattered, it's essentially shrapnel.
Yeah,
so you want it to bend.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
want it to shatter.
And you don't want it to be brittle. You want it to be ductile. And hockey sticks.
Exactly. There's that engineering talk.
Right.
Brittle versus ductile.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's really important that when they break, they don't create these jagged edges that essentially could just, you know, cut you up like a razor blade.
Safety is definitely a big reason why. But at the same time, you know, you want something that can flex, because the flex actually also adds to the power of your shot as well.
All right, so this is kind of a big deal. We have 5 minutes, 34 seconds left in the period, and
Bortolucci looks like he's out.
Bortolucci has just been given a 5-minute major. We don't know exactly what the call is yet. The referee was talking to the scorekeeper, so we didn't see a hand signal. But that means that now Utah is going to be stuck shorthanded for essentially the balance of the game, and with a 5-minute major, no matter how many times BYU scores, Utah's not going to get to bring a man back on the ice. So they're going to play shorthanded for the remainder of the game. And I don't know exactly. I didn't see what that was.
It had to have been something he said.
It had to have been after the play. It must have been after the goal.
Right.
Which, again, not a smart move. You just scored a goal.
Right.
You got the goal, not the other way around.
It looks like it's unsportsmanlike, or there might be another unsportsmanlike. At least the referee just made an unsportsmanlike signal.
You're right, he did. But 5 minutes for an unsportsmanlike? Wow. He must have said the magic word.
Yeah, that's it. That could be it.
This also...
and then Utah also takes a timeout.
And it looks like Utah's going to, as you just said, going to take a timeout and figure out what to do, because this is not good for Utah to be shorthanded for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear the announcement on the penalty here.
Yeah, we're waiting for Justin Long, our announcer, to give us because they didn't give us a hand signal. Well, I did see the unsportsmanlike, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that's another one or if that's...
But it's kind of odd to have a major on an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, referee's still talking
I'm
about it.
trying to bring up the stats thing to see how say. So the goal, we have the goal. And I may have called, I may have called the goal incorrectly too. It looks like that goal is going to be credited to Kai Conti. I think I might have given it to Ethan Kurt, but he gets the assist. So Kai Conti gets the goal. And so the penalty killing squad for Utah on the ice is going to be Sam Mudd, Kai Conti, Michael Brown, and I can't quite see the number on the player on the far side.
And Nick Fornelia is still talking to one of the officials.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not happy about it either.
Yeah,
looks like it's going to be Tomacek. So it's
very long stoppage in play here.
Yeah, very long. So it's Hayden Tomacek, Kai Conti, Sam Mudd, and Michael Brown are going to be the penalty killers to begin this shift. And to serve the penalty for Bortolucci, Adam Baksh is going to sit in the box to serve that penalty for Bortolucci, who actually got sent to the locker room. And here we go. BYU wins the draw. Thunhurst crosses the blue line. And he loses the puck. Utah tries to send it out, but it bounces off some bodies and stays in. Utah still trying to clear the puck out of the zone. Instead, Anderson comes out with it. Finally, Conti grabs it and just flings it down to the other end of the ice. Thunhurst drops it off to Eisenstadt, who brings it up through his own zone. Back to Anderson. Anderson carries it across the neutral zone, across the blue line. He's just going to take his time because they know they can score at will with a 5-minute major. Up to the point. One-timer by Christensen goes wide, bounces back out. BYU retains control. Christensen again at the circle. He tries to dump it in, and now you have Barris standing there in the middle. Puck squirts back out. Christensen gets it again. He crosses all the way to Anderson. Back to Eisenstadt at the high slot. Back to Christensen. Back to Anderson, who tries to shovel it into the center. Barris takes a poke at it, but the puck ends up behind the net. Now Anderson's got it in front. He shovels it backhand. Another save by O'Donnell. Another save by O'Donnell. Finally, he just jumps on it. He loses his... He doesn't lose his stick. He does lose his stick, so he jumps on the puck. And we're going to have a face-off. Boy, if I'm O'Donnell, I think I'm doing the Ben Gay tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's had to stop a lot of shots. I mean, we're almost at 50 now, 48.
Yep, 48. 3:46 left in the major penalty, 4:20 left in the period. BYU wins the draw, and they just dump it right in from the point. That was Holmes. Allen comes up with it from the point. He sends back down into the corner. Nielsen's got it. I'm sorry, that was Morrow. And then, oh my gosh, Indy picks it off, and he's got a one-on-one breakaway. He goes in and denied. Ben Smith makes a save. Andy follows the puck into the corner. Templin goes in there to help him out. BYU got a little bit careless there, and Andy just pounced right on. And Andy is one of the best skaters and stick handlers on the men's D2 team. Can't be caught napping with him around when he's on the ice. BYU picks up the puck, starts their own offense, and Utah sends it back into the neutral zone. Whittier chases down. He sends it in, and BYU picks it up. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left in the game. We've got a delayed penalty coming out, and that's going to be on Utah.
Yep.
And so Smith, of course, leaves his goal so that BYU can throw an extra skater on the ice. O'Donnell covers it up, and we're going to have another penalty by Utah.
And that's not sportsmanlike.
And that's going to be another unsportsmanlike. And another one, a double unsportsmanlike.
Oh my goodness, the referees are another one.
Triple.
He just made that 3 times. There are 3 players from the Utah.
No, I think it's all on Umina. I think he got 3.
No, there's
3 players. Wow. Right, Sheridan and Umina are leaving, and Templin. Wow. Wow.
Referee wasn't.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you?
That was insane. That was insane. I was just about to announce the last penalty. Was the official call was major contact hit to the head with the game misconduct. Was the penalty that was the first
on board
misconduct.
Lucy, the 5 minute.
Well, that was the first
Lucy.
one, and that was ridiculous. That was crazy. The referee wasn't having any of it.
I don't think I've ever seen 3 in a row at the same time.
I'm sorry, that's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know what. I mean, I don't know. And Nick Fornelius is pretty much he's talking to the referees right now. I mean, I'm sure the players were, said something, of course, very bad, but I mean, it was he just did it 3 times. He did 1, 2, 3. I mean, that was crazy. I've never seen that.
Struck me because he had his hands out like he was trying to talk to the referee. He didn't look like he was.
It looked like he said something. I'm not sure what it was, but either way, the referee immediately right after something was said, he made the
yeah,
the
right.
signal.
It was like 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that actually showed up. If that actually showed up on the video, but it was 1, 2, 3, right after one after another. And this is unfortunately. This is what I mean,
look at that. Look, it's O'Donnell and a couple of Utes talking with the whole BYU squad.
Yeah, what's going on with that? He's not supposed to leave his crease. If he's not careful, he's going to get in trouble too because he's not supposed to leave his crease.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's got to be careful.
So this, unfortunately, is what I was kind of worried about. Is you got a blowout game and tempers start flaring and people start doing dumb things. Let's say. Let's just put it that way. So we have got 5 on 3. It's Sheridan. So Sheridan did not leave. I think I accidentally said Sheridan left. Sheridan did not leave. It's Sheridan, Conti, and Brown defending against 5 BYU players. And they are taking a face-off to O'Donnell's left. We've got 3 minutes, 12 seconds left in the game. And meanwhile, Austin Siemiatkowski ends up sitting in the box to serve the penalty for one of the players that got thrown out.
So Porter Templin got booked for the slash hit call and then a 10-minute misconduct. And then both of them got abusive official misconducts as well.
Wow. All right, Anderson setting up from the circle and deflected by O'Donnell. Anderson sets up again in the circle, and he gives a pass to Christensen, who is just parked there right on the other side of the post, and there's nothing O'Donnell can do with it. It is now 9-2. So Siemiatkowski gets to come out for the 2-minute, that's for the slashing, the 2-minute minor, but unfortunately we still have the 5-minute major with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on that one, so that major penalty is still going to keep the Utah team squad down 1 player, so they'll be playing 4 on 5.
Scoreboard doesn't have enough slots at this point for the penalties, but
So Tretiak, Mudd, Whittier, and Tomacek are going to be the penalty killers for this 4-on-5. Holmes has the puck down in his own zone. He starts skating it through his zone, setting up the play. He's being chased by Mudd. Nielsen carries it across the blue line. He's looking for an open man. Puck ends up in the corner. Up to Heck. Heck sees Baker open on the circle. Nice save by O'Donnell, who's got to scramble around and had a little trouble getting to his feet. Slap shot by Holmes from the high slot. O'Donnell covers it up. And we have now broken the 50 shots on goal mark, folks.
54.
54. O'Donnell's had to face 54 shots. If this keeps up, we could end up with 60. That would be 20 shots a period.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of shots.
Save percentage goes up a little
Tretiak
bit.
facing Baker in the face-off, and O'Donnell jumps on that one as it squirts out. In the third period alone, BYU has had 25 shots on goal. Another face-off, puck squirts out, and Tomacek managed to clear it out of the zone. Made gives chase all the way to the end. He actually comes up with it in the corner. Utah trying to start something. Andy's got a chance at it. He goes, chases it in the corner, but nobody there in the corner to retrieve it. 1 minute, 44 seconds left in the game. Puck still in the BYU zone. Made's not giving up on that. He's not going to give up without a fight. BYU digs it out, sends it up to Heck. Heck carries it across the blue line himself. He drops the puck to Thunhorst, sends it back to the corner to Heck. Back to Thunhorst at the point, and to Eisenstadt. Off to the Anderson in the corner and gets poke check loose, except Eisenstadt keeps it in the zone. 1 minute, 13 seconds left in the period. One-timer from Thunhorst gets deflected or goes wide. I think it might have been deflected. I think Donald got a piece of it. Eisenstadt again, high slot. To Anderson, shoots it on, directly on goal, and O'Donnell grabs it and hangs onto it. 59 seconds left in the period. BYU leads Utah 9-2. Utah is still shorthanded. They're going to be shorthanded all the way until the last 25 seconds of this game. Fighting for the puck, and BYU comes up with it. Anderson skates it in from the circle. He tries to skate it all the way in. He loses handle on it, goes down. Puck ends up behind the net, then back into the corner, back to Eisenstadt, then to Christensen, back to Eisenstadt, back to Anderson. He goes for a shot, hits a bunch of bodies, ends up going into the corner. 36 seconds left in the game, and the penalty is over. Bax comes out to join the party, and now 5-on-5. BYU still in control of the puck. And look for something, probably looking for one last final shot. Gonna hang on to the puck until they get that shot. Oh, and there goes. So, wrist shot from the point by Eisenstadt hits a stick, gets deflected up into the netting. So we're going to have a face-off with 15 seconds left in the game.
So, O'Donnell's got a .85 save percentage tonight. After giving up 9 goals, his save percentage is actually going to go up.
Right,
and that's
right,
because he
had
faced
to face almost 60
an absurd amount of shots. And it goes to show you that he's really not a bad goaltender at all. I mean, you tell anyone, oh, he gave up 9 goals. He saw 60 shots tonight. I mean, that's absurd. I mean, the defense in front of him needs to.
That's an excellent description. That is an absurd number of shots on goal.
The defense in front of him needs to be a little bit better, obviously.
And there it is. That's 60. Barris wings it in there, and O'Donnell deflects it. There's your 60. And we're going to have a stoppage in play with 1.6 seconds left. Oh, my goodness. No, you're not going to call a penalty 1.6 seconds. And you are. Anderson's going to go in the box.
That's not BYU's first penalty, but they have not taken many penalties
they haven't
tonight.
taken very many penalties. Utah has not been very.
Oh, Anderson gets a game misconduct with the 1.6 seconds left in the game.
How does that happen? That's really odd.
I like to see that, though, because that means they're calling the same game for the Utes and the Cougars, though. If he subs something to the refs and if Utah says something to the refs, they get ejected. He should get ejected for doing the same.
Wow. But again, not real smart on Anderson's part when you're blowing the other team away.
He'll just wait at the door for his team. He's not going to the locker room. I mean, I wouldn't either.
All right, so Baksh takes the final face-off, and that is the end of the game. The final score, BYU 9, Utah 2. And I don't really know what to say. Patrick, have you got anything to say about this last period? I mean, I thought Utah was actually holding their own on a 1-1, and then kind of all chaos broke loose.
I mean, they did a better job this period than previous, and BYU just a really good hockey team. There's no doubt about it. But you know what? Just a tough game, obviously, overall. And credit to O'Donnell. He played a great game tonight. He's a really classy guy. He's a good goaltender, and you know, when you have to face that many shots, it's tough to keep all of them out. I mean, if he kept all of them out, I mean, might as well put them in the NHL, I guess. But was a good game played by both squads, obviously.
I think that the shots on goal also tells another story of how the defense broke down.
Right.
O'Donnell shouldn't have to face 60 shots on goal.
Yeah,
right. His defense should be helping him out a little bit. And clearly, we talked about how they broke down tonight, and that just let those shots, let those opportunities happen.
Yep, and you know what, it happens, and it's a tough loss for Utah. These sting. These sting really hard, especially against BYU, your rival. But at the end of the day, you learn from experiences like this, and you take it in the locker room, and you learn how you can build on it some more. And these are the ugly ones, but there are better days ahead.
There are better days ahead, so hang in there, boys. All right, well, we are going to wrap up for the evening, and coming up next is going to be the men's D1 Utah Skating Utes hosting the Oregon Ducks D2 team. That should be an interesting game. They gave a pretty good battle last night, so unless we have a new game plan, I'm expecting it again to be a hard-fought game. Have a good evening until then. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Welcome to New Friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get out and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get out and walk and see.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our
Welcome to the arts.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and dive and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So